of Super Burly Bros podcast.
Welcome!
I'm a cool guy.
He's a super cool guy.
Yeah, no, I have to. That's way too bright.
So why are you wearing sunglasses indoors?
Because I think I'm that cool.
Yeah?
I'm committing. I'm just that cool.
I can see you think you're that cool.
Yep, I do. Look at me. No. I recently had LASIK. So recent, it was on Friday. And this is recorded on Sunday.
It was like 2 days ago.
And my eyes are baby fresh pain for the light. That doesn't make sense.
No, it didn't.
Basically, How'd it
go?
It went very well. It was very quick. The whole experience was, it felt like an impulse to Jackie because I went in for an assessment consult on Monday. And then by Friday, I was getting my procedure done.
And you just went on vacation to Vegas.
And I just went on vacation to Vegas. Yeah. It was like, I don't know. I had this like impulsive itch and I just had to scratch it.
All right. Well, don't scratch the eyes.
No, because if you do, then you'll rip your corneal flap and then you'll...
And then that's bad?
That's very bad.
Okay.
I tried not to watch many LASIK procedures before. I watched one and I listened to that person's review of it. And they're like, yep, I see these little halo things, but that's getting better. For me, I don't really have that. Mm-hmm. It's just there is a lot of sensitivity to this extra light that we have in the room today. Or really every time we record.
It just feels like extra.
It just feels like extra right now just because they're sensitive. Yeah. But, this helps.
Yeah. I don't think I would have the willpower to not itch at my eyes.
I think if you knew that,
even knowing the consequences, I think I'd still be like, oh no, I could just do a little, and it'll be like, oh God, and it'll just get away from me. That's just what I think about myself. Thankfully, I don't need LASIK.
I was at the gym today, and like between one of my sets, I was just kind of sitting there, and then I just started to move my hands closer to my eyeballs, and it was like, oh fuck, no, don't do that.
What would happen if you got sweat in your eyes?
It would burn,
but then you wouldn't even be able to wipe
I would have to just kind of blink. I have these these little things where they're called real tears or something.
Oh, I think I've heard of those.
Yeah, they're by Blink, and they're actually from Santa Ana, California.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's where they farm these tears.
Yep. They just have
people. Is it from migrant workers or
just capture all their tears? They show them Disney movies all day long and they just cry. So I put those in every hour. So I have a timer on my phone that goes off every hour. I drop them in, one in each eye, reset the timer. Let's go.
Whew. So they gave you like a big box of them?
Yeah, like a 3-month supply.
Jesus.
No. So they gave me 150 because there's 50 in each box. I think is what they said.
Because that looks like a one-time deal thing.
Nope, it has a resealable.
Okay, it was looking more like the
juice packs.
Yeah.
What are they called? But look at it. Maybe it'll focus.
It makes me think of like the Kickin' Kiwi Lime, and the Ecto Cooler.
Yeah, they were just like Kool-Aid. Squeezy bottles, whatever.
That's what it looked like. So I was like, this seems like very wasteful.
No, it's a very, you get a few, I think maybe 3 to 4 uses out of this little eye dauber. But yeah, the procedure was very quick. Mm-hmm. They put these little, sorry if you are offended by hearing about eye things. Are you?
Yeah, go for it.
They basically put little suction cups onto your eyeballs, and that's why my eyes have these large red hickeys. Or look like burst blood vessels.
Jackie hasn't been like slapping you around or nothing.
Not for this.
Okay.
She's just like slapping my eyeballs. Just. Well, what did she say? Like, if you really piss me off, I'm gonna poke your eye.
Jesus Christ.
And the guy that was giving me the rundown of all my drops and stuff, he's like, yeah, we actually had one person that was they got into a fight and she poked his eye after he had surgery done.
And he's blind now?
They didn't say. I hope he's not blind,
See, I like those. This is just sort of a side tangent, but like I like those like small like defensive moves where like, because you don't think of like, oh, I'm just gonna poke you in the eye. But I remember, when I was in middle school, there's my friend Colin, who you met in Texas. We got along, but there's a small period where I felt like he was like kind of starting to bully me. And like, maybe it was just like being just more annoying than I cared to like be a part of or something like that. And like I was getting really frustrated by it. And then one day it was right at the end of the day and we were at our lockers. His was like right next to mine. And he was just making fun of me for something. And I'd never really been bullied before or anything like that. Like it just didn't happen. We had too small of a school. You couldn't afford to bully people. You need all the friends you could get. But I was just like, I had enough of it. And so rather than like pushing him or trying to punch him or slap him or anything, I just went and I flicked him right into the throat. And like, I don't know where I thought of this, but like I got him in like just the right spot, or he just wasn't expecting it. And he was just like immediately like, ah! And he never messed with me again. And then we were just friends again.
Nice. I'll have to remember that.
Yeah.
But I don't even want to try it.
Like I must have got him in just the right spot or something. It was perfect.
Oof. Yeah, that's a sensitive area. Let's see. We didn't set a timer for our camera.
Oh, shit.
And I have a camera rolling on this. So could you please set a timer on your phone?
Oh, yeah, because you got your eyeballs.
My eyeballs. And I put this pop socket back on my phone. It's a new one, but I put it down thinking like
15, all right?
That's a bit soon.
Okay, well, we'll do 15 and then we'll know it's time. It's close. It's going to be a loud timer, though, just so you know.
Okay.
It's going to be like, you know what I mean?
I don't know if you're apologizing to me or the people that are going to maybe listen to this episode.
More to you. I don't think many people listen.
Where I put the pop socket on here, thinking like, okay, yeah, I can reach things and it'll be better. But then I realized it totally fucks up the center of, it's more prone to tipping now.
Why don't you just put it in the middle?
I'm going to. I just, it's really on there.
Oh, okay. I don't use the pop sockets, so I don't know what it takes to relocate them. Okay, just leave it. Fine. I get it.
What? Okay. Jeez. But at my back to the LASIK procedure, if I could.
Yeah.
I felt like a real rock star because they ushered me into this like sort of green room where they're like, okay, hey, 20 minutes, here you go, and here's your drugs before you go on and do the big laser show. Yeah. They gave me just 5 milligrams.
20 minutes and you're on.
5 milligrams.
Get as high as you can.
What is it called? Shit.
Oxy?
No, it's
morphine.
It's a benzo.
Benzodiazepine? I don't know.
Crap. What? Like old white ladies that drink Chardonnay.
Quaaludes?
Mer.
Let's just keep this going.
Yeah. Schwammy.
Is it it's like a common one?
Yes, very common.
So it starts with an M, not morphine.
Benzo. For anxiety? Let's see what Google has to say.
I'm just following along here.
Valium.
Okay, it ends with an M.
Yes. Sorry.
Just pump up the Valium.
Pump up the Valium. And that's exactly what I was thinking when they're like, oh, did you want to take the drugs today? And I was like, well, I don't really like the idea of them just, here you go, here's a pill. Take this, you'll feel better. Holy shit,
but Valium will do it.
Like, oh my God. I could see how people get hooked on that shit.
What's crazy is that like they'll use that for also treating like some of the most severe anxiety as well. Is like, because it like, I don't know if it works as like painkiller or just like gets you so just like mentally high that with the light directly behind me.
was just trying to look because you're like looking at me, but you're probably just seeing the reflection of the light, and you're like, I'm not even really talking to another person here.
That's okay.
Sorry, not much of a person.
Yeah, I was gonna say. But yeah, you can take Valium for anxiety.
Yeah.
I remember at my old job, that was when we were doing like the screening of people's disabilities to see if it's like a case we thought we could win. It would be like if they were talking about anxiety, like we would go over the medication they take. Pretty much anything, it'd just be like, oh, if it's anxiety, it's like there's got to be something else involved too. Like you can deal with anxiety, like you can take medication or just be in a situation where it's not terrible. But then there was a special box for if they had anxiety and they were prescribed Valium. And then it was like immediately like, yep, we'll take it.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. That's weird.
It's good shit.
It is. Like, oh my God.
That could be our new show. We could just review drugs.
Review drugs. Just send us drugs and we'll review them. Or, I mean, you don't have to send
we don't really do any drugs. So all of it's going to be new for us.
Right. And I'd never taken Valium before. And I didn't really notice it kicking in until I was on my way home, which is pretty shitty for me.
Why would you agree to go into the surgery room when you're like, I don't know if this is, I'm not sure if I'm feeling this yet.
Because I've never taken it. So I don't know. Like it could have, because it was only like 0.5 milligrams. So it's probably very low dose.
Did they use another anesthetic on your eye aside from that then?
Yeah. So they use whatever, like I felt them like painting like with like a nail polish like paint brush or whatever. I could see them like painting on my eye, but I couldn't feel it. So I knew there was something, it was working. But
so it probably is just for anxiety that you have the Valium, just so that you don't freak out on the table. And
and that was the thing is, I up until recently I'd never really experienced, anxiety, or maybe I just have found a way to deal with it and just push through it. But when I was laying on the table, I was like, just taking some real deep breaths. And I think that's understandable. That's reasonable.
Yeah. So much so that they give you Valium before you go in.
Yeah. And I was just like, just focus and breathe and just look at that little dot. And then all of a sudden the little dot went blurry. But the guy's like, all right, when we put this little suction cup on your eye, it's going to go dim or dark. Like you'll see a little bit or you're going to see nothing. That's normal. Don't worry. And they put it on and all of a sudden I felt my eye just go and it started to go dim. I'm like, oh, here it goes.
That's probably just what they say as like their cover so that if they fuck up and like suddenly you're blind, they have enough time to like run out the room before you realize like, wait, it's not getting better.
And the guy was, he was talking me through it the whole way. It was very nice. And he was saying, I'll start telling you, I'm going to count to 30. But by that point, I'm already doing the laser thing. That's just like making sure you hold real still during that time. And I'm just thinking like, what if I was like, kind of fidgety before? I assume he would say, hey, you need to calm down. But we're not even going to tell you when we're starting. It's like, you're just kind of going through it and you don't even know it.
Though that's probably better of just like, the more you can get done before they even realize anything's happening.
Yeah. But then, it smells when they like cut the eye, it smells like burning hair.
Oh God.
And every time I put those drops that I just put in, like it smells, not these, but the medicated ones.
Yeah.
It smells just like that all over again.
That's weird.
Yeah. It's really weird that your eyeball smells like burning hair. To me, that's my experience. That's what I think it smells like.
Huh. So I wonder now going forward, when you smell burning hair just normally, you're going to be like, oh God, my eyes,
they're on fire. But let me just say, I can read that. Like I can read that. Like I can read all these things and it was the best, like no buyer's remorse.
Nice. That's good.
And it's that instant gratification that I like.
Yeah.
Still a little cloudy at times. The bright lights. It's like those photos from the 80s where they have the super soft edges and stuff.
Oh, like the vignette?
Yeah, it looks kind of like that. And maybe that's what they call haloing. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I could see maybe that being that.
But it's less and less every day. So I have my follow-up appointment tomorrow where they're going to, scan my eyes, check, and then I get a free t-shirt.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So like basically pays for itself.
I know, right? Like $3,200,000. 100, not thousand. Oh my God.
$3,200,000?
$3,200,000. That's how much these eyes are worth. They're like, these things are really fucked up. We had to go buy you a whole new set of eyes and we just put those back in.
Yeah.
So that's been my week.
Nice.
I mean, pretty much.
Well, let's see. Well, I don't have a whole lot. I'm gonna preface that. Basically, did you watch the newest episode of The Mandalorian?
I did not.
Because we didn't. So for one, we didn't talk about it at all yet on the show because we forgot to do it last week. Great job. So would you stop fidgeting? That's my role. Trying to edge me out. But you've watched up to episode 4.
5 just came out.
No, I think it's 6 that just came out.
Fuck. I watched the one where the new bounty hunter kid, and he was taking him under his wing, and then.
So they're on Tatooine.
Yep.
Okay, so that was 5.
That was 5. Okay.
Unless I have my numbers mixed up, which is also possible, but I'm pretty sure.
The newest episode is what came out. I have not seen it.
Yeah, on the day that you were getting your eyes cut up.
Yeah, I couldn't see it if I wanted to.
It is really fucking good. It's my favorite episode of...
I saw your tweet, so I'm assuming it's the one where...
Yeah, Bill Burr's in it, and I fucking love it. I'm so happy. He had such a good character, I think. For one, just to see Bill Burr, who, because I listen to his comedy a lot, and, I know he's not one to be, crazy about sci-fi and all this, so he's just, an unlikely person to be in that universe. And then seeing him, and he's funny in the show too, and it's finally good, because obviously he's a professional comic. It's good comedy, because all the other stuff they try and do that's funny in these shows, it's always really cheesy and dumb.
Yeah.
And
but this is his livelihood.
Yeah. He knows how to voice it right, and I thought he was a really great character just in general. So I'm sad that I think he's probably just in that one episode, just given the route things take. He might come back, but I kind of doubt it. But I thought the episode in general was great. It's what I was hoping for out of the show. And then for that episode to also be the one with Bill Burr in it, I was really happy.
Well, all right. Since I haven't seen it, I'll just ask you this. Does it start to pick up? In terms of overarching plot, not as much. Yeah. I'm at this point, I'm suspecting that the last episode of this season is going to be what we would have thought as the inciting incident in episode 1 or 2, where it really shows the significance of Baby Yoda and the route that Mando's taking. Okay. I do have a question about not Star Wars, but I was talking to my manager and trying to get her to watch Always Sunny.
Okay.
Because she can't watch it. She doesn't like it because of Charlie Day's character. She just can't. I know.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm settled. Go on.
I just pulled up the Dennis system to show her because it was funny. It's probably not a good jumping off point for the show and anybody. If you're a woman. And she said, are there any redeeming qualities of these characters that, would make people want to watch? And it really made me scratch my head of why do I care about these characters and why do I keep watching?
That is a good question.
And I figured you know the most about the show. You've seen it more, you know it more than I do.
Yeah. I'd say,
because I was going to say Dee seems like a pretty redeeming character, but then there are those moments where it's just,
Yeah. Well, and I think the point is that they're not. I think of all people, I think Charlie and Dee are probably the most likable. Dee is generally like the voice of reason in at least a lot of it, where she's at least being like, why are we doing this? Or, you know, like, hey, do you want to try maybe being compassionate? But then, you know, something will happen and then she'll be right in it with everyone else. So
Bill Ponderosa.
Yeah. So, but I think Charlie, I just see him as the underdog. And I've noticed I like that and I think it's a common thing that a lot of people like, but like, I look at Always Sunny and I relate the most to Charlie. And I look at like Futurama and I like Zoidberg the most. And I feel like they are very similar characters where they're, you know, a little dumb and everyone else, it just totally writes them off, but they still have their value and their skill sets in some places. And it's just completely not appreciated at all. Like the Charlie Work episode where, you know, it follows Charlie around the whole time as he's trying to make sure they pass their health inspection or whatever it was. And he's doing all this work around the rest of them trying to do this scheme. And he pulls it off. And at the end, he's like, oh, man, guys, we got the best grade we've ever gotten. And he's like, we fucking did it. And they're like, yeah, we always get that. Like they totally write off, you know, what he's been struggling at the whole time. And I just see he's kind of the guy who, like, you know, Dennis and Mac, they live together and they live in a decent apartment and everything. But Charlie lives, like, in the first season, he's living in this studio apartment. And then Frank comes in and, like, takes over his role or, like, his apartment, but doesn't, like, upgrade them to anything better. He's like, I want to live crappy. I'm just going to live with you.
Jesus
Christ.
Why would that be your alarm?
It gets me up. Whew. Like, it's not messing around.
Bum, bum.
But yeah, I would say that's what I like about Charlie is he's this underdog guy who's underappreciated. And I don't know if I necessarily like relate to that, but I don't know. I like that character.
Okay. I mean, I don't
know if any of this would be an argument of why anyone should watch it if their first impression is they don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, what I got out of this was really making me want to watch more Futurama and watch Zoidberg.
Yeah. Lux says no.
When he destroys the little ship in the bottle?
Fry did it. Look with your eyes, Zoidberg, not your claws.
I think that we'll just take a quick commercial break right now.
Commercial break. We're back. Speaking of the commercials, David texted me yesterday. He must have been listening to last week's episode, and he said apparently in the ad read, the third time that I say the word podcast, I say it with a very Boston accent. I went and it's the one where it's like back and forth between us. Mm-hmm. And I went and listened to it and I just like misspeak and I say podcast. He's right.
I totally forgot because I actually on my way here, I was listening to that episode so that I just knew like, okay, what did we talk about last week? So that it's, you know, staying on track and not backtracking.
Yeah.
But I did notice that as well. But, you know,
in this week's podcast,
we're just going to keep on rolling with it.
Yeah.
Because redoing ad reads is not fun.
No, fuck that. For me.
So let's see here. I have a few topics.
Okay. Bring them on.
All right. So first of all, you'll notice my ear holes.
Ear holes. Yeah.
I've been thinking about it for a while. And it's time for me to start plugging them back up.
Oh, I was almost convinced you were going to say that you were going to get the surgery to like seal them.
Ew.
So yours are luckily like sealed enough that like they don't look weird.
Like if they were sewn shut or if I left them as is?
Just leave them as is. Like obviously you can see there's a hole, but like I'm sure you would notice with like one of them looks okay. Yeah, and the other is just like it's just a fucking hole. It's like if I was going to be done having earrings in, I'd consider getting the surgery.
Yeah. So kind of perusing the internet, trying to figure out, and I figured I'd maybe ask you, like, what do you think would fit in this? 0, 00?
Yeah, I think
maybe even smaller than that. I don't know.
I got a few things in my bag. We can take a look after this.
Okay. Just so I know where to start, because I want to get some.
Yeah.
Sooner than later, but.
And I have some that you won't like, but I think would work for helping start the stretching. I have those, the fucking ball.
The pincher ones with the ball?
Yeah. Those are good because they have some nice weight to them. So they'll start, you don't wear them in public, but.
You don't wear these in public.
One day I forgot and I wore them to work. Oof. It wasn't a huge deal.
It was like a real trip awkward. Back to like 2000.
Yeah.
The year 2000. And oh no, my notes. Okay, there are my notes.
So just before we move on, do you have a size goal in mind of what you'd like to get back to?
Honestly, not really. I do have a nice pair of like stone earrings that I really enjoyed. Not the ones that I wore on my wedding, but
bring those up.
Yeah, I don't want those. Yeah, I don't want to. Sorry.
It's all right. Move on.
But just something that would go in here where they would fit and look normal. Like I don't need to go bigger. I mean, I say that now, but I'm sure that once I, put them in there, I'm like, oh, I really want to go back because I have, a few earrings that I can, use interchangeably.
Yeah.
But for the most part right now, it's just get a pair of solid color ones that don't look super like lame.
You're not trying to look like you're in a metalcore band anymore.
Right.
Yep. I get it.
I mean,
and
yeah,
I think I know where you're at because I'm kind of in that same boat. Like you may have noticed I've not gone up past where I'm at now, and I definitely could. And I've been taking my earrings out every night
so that they just don't overstretch.
Yeah, so they don't overstretch, and then so they're a little tight each morning when I put them back in. But yeah, that they're not getting away from me. Also, being that I've got these ones that I have in, and I must have lost or thrown out some of the in-between ones that I had even the last time I stretched back up. Because I've got like these and I have then like, inch ones.
Yeah. And yeah, I just want to get a nice pair of earrings that I can wear on the regular. So when I'm doing sessions and stuff like that, it just looks a little bit better where it's not like, oh, you got a floppy butthole.
Yeah.
Who's this guy's going to turn my dog? He can't even dress his face.
Yeah. Why don't you plug your fucking holes? Speaking of you at your work, I saw some security footage the other day.
Enjoy right here. I'm totally putting this in.
Fucking thank God. So you take a little tumble.
Yeah. I was calling a dog, like, come on, let's back off the gate here. Not thinking, just walking backwards. And I totally fell onto a pile of dogs. And
I like there's like the one that kind of loops around and like sneaks in. And I think it's the one that you actually trip over.
Yeah, it was. I'm going to actually pull up the picture. It was this little kid. I definitely squished him.
I was going to say or ask, who was more surprised, you or the dogs that you fell on top of?
Definitely the dogs that I fell on top of.
Okay.
I mean, I fell pretty gracefully, I think. You see, I just kind of like, I tuck and roll. Mm-hmm. I'm not, I cover my face right away. Like
you got good defensive instincts.
Yeah. And, everybody was like, oh, are you okay? And they're like licking me and playing with me. And I just laugh. Yeah. You can't be like, oh, damn it, no, I'm down. I'm sure if I broke my arm, I'd say something different. But fortunately, I didn't even bruise my elbow.
That's good.
Yeah.
And all the dogs were all right.
Everybody's okay. We reinflated that one dog and sent him home with a string on, just kind of floating like a balloon. But yeah, that was fun. That was a fun time.
I'm so glad you shared that.
Yeah, I figured everybody needs a laugh in the morning, and it was so early in the morning. I definitely didn't have coffee that day.
Oh no.
That morning I did rectify that. I got coffee. I did. It was delicious.
Yeah, what else do you got? I cannot carry this
Wow. Okay.
I got very little going on. Oh wait, so sorry. I've got one thing because I got my water rower.
Yeah. I was gonna like, what? Go on.
It's nice. It took a fucking while to put together. There's just one segment was it was frustrating because there were pre-drilled holes, and then the other piece had screws kind of built into it to fit through those pre-drilled holes, and then you put in a thing on the other side. And when I had it set up initially, I could always get one of the threads started, but I couldn't get the other one. It just wouldn't hook. And then I'd be like, well, what the fuck? I'd take that one off and then try the other one. The other one would hook, but then I couldn't get that first one that I was just doing. And I did that for like 20 minutes where I was like, what is going on? Finally, I had to like put it on the side, prop up the other end with something, and actually like look down into it just to see that like the way it was like the measurement was maybe just like a little off. So when one was centered, the other was like
slightly off centered.
So there wasn't enough room to catch. And I was able to like kind of get it in just the right spot to get them both on. And it finally worked. But I was struggling.
And, we can expect a full review on this, in the coming weeks. But first impressions. It's actually, I was expecting more resistance from it than I'm currently getting. I have the water level filled almost to the max. Now with water rowing, it is a little different from like the other machines where it has just kind of a stagnant resistance. With water rowing, it's actually depending on like how hard you're pulling that it will then create more resistance. Just, I don't understand the science very well, but it is the case. So you kind of set it yourself. So some of it is also me just trying to get good form and make sure I'm doing it properly. But yeah, I did Friday morning, I did Saturday morning. And those were pretty good so far. Okay. And this is just going into your regular routine of what you're already doing?
Yeah, so it might replace a few reps of other stuff. But yeah, so ideally it's going to be more rowing in the morning than the lifting. That way it's focused a little bit further on cardio, and then I'm more likely to just like, even when I'm home in like the evening, I might be like, oh, I'm just going to, do a quick set here. And I can kind of just throw that in wherever, just using dumbbells. And then rather than, setting up the water rower and all that. It's not like it takes a lot of work, but I just have to put it in the down position from off the wall.
Okay, because you sent me a picture of it and it looked like it was probably in the up position.
Yep.
And I was like, that's a really narrow or like short distance to row. So
no, it works.
You'll show me.
Yeah, I'll show.
He's going to show me how to row.
Yeah.
Now, do you think if you put in a substance in the water rower receptacle that you would then, you'd have more resistance, or is it specifically saying just put water in?
I think you could put something else in if you're okay with voiding your warranty.
To say, what would have a little, you could put some sand in there.
Oof.
Or
yeah.
if you really want
gelatin or something.
Yeah. You could really get a good workout with that gelatin.
I think me focusing on my form is probably going to be the correct answer for this. Because my instinct is not going to be that I'm just so good at this. This isn't even hard. Mm-hmm. That's probably not correct.
Are you going to get like a big mirror to put next to it so you can kind of like look at yourself and be like, I'd fuck me.
Fuck me hard. No, but I'm probably going to set up my phone just to take a little video, just so I can just play it back and see what I'm doing. Like
this is where I went wrong.
Like even from Friday to Saturday, the Saturday one I think it felt like a lot more of a workout because I only did like 15 minutes on Saturday morning. And, I was definitely working up a sweat.
Are you supposed to do more than 15 minutes on that?
I've seen stuff between like, it seemed like 20 to 30 is the more common workout.
Okay.
And again, it depends on, what your goal is. If you actually row like on the body of water, and if your goal is to just be able to train for doing that versus if you're just doing it as just an exercise thing.
Okay. Well, I look forward to hearing more. I look forward to trying it out after this show.
Yeah. We'll give it a row.
Like I've
but I'm always on.
Cool.
Cool.
I had cool. I have a little idea and proposal for you.
Okay.
I could mention off air, but I think I'll do it right now.
Yeah, bring it on.
Could you bring home, and are you into this? Could you bring home a small serving of your butter put? What is it called? The thing that your mom makes.
You gotta be more specific.
Bro, we were talking
salsa, pesto.
Yes, all that. But in addition to that, the stuff that she always makes at the holidays.
The scalloped corn?
Scalloped corn, yes.
Okay. I think we should be able to make that happen.
So just bring home a small, and I will, bring home a small thing of rice pudding.
Oh, okay.
And we will exchange family foods and see what we think of that.
Okay, I like that idea. I'm going to put a reminder in my phone.
Okay.
For that, because I will for sure forget.
And while he's doing that, I'm going to tell everybody a little story about my experience yesterday at this really cool local ice cream shop in Northeast, where they were doing pictures with Krampus.
Oh, yeah.
And so we go in there, get our picture taken right away, and then we go proceed to get some ice cream because, we're there and there's local businesses and we're kind of shopping around and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And right away when we walked up to the counter, I look at the kid behind the counter and he's like 18 or 19. And he's like, whoa, dude, are you okay? Your eye's like bleeding. Just right out the gate. Didn't even like tiptoe around it. Just like, are you okay? Your eye looks like it's bleeding. And then Jackie's like, oh, no, he just had LASIK. So I'm like, yeah, thank you for saying something, because apparently like all day yesterday, nobody said shit about it. Like they didn't notice, but this kid right away was like from across the counter. He's like, whoa, this guy's face is messed up.
But, I like this guy.
Can you see?
The way you're looking at me right now right now with this view, I see on your left eye, there's like one spot.
Yeah. So, I mean,
you must have been like looking down at the counter.
Right. I was looking at all the ice cream. So I'm like, and he's like, I can't not say anything about this guy.
He's like, I'm not sure if you can be around the ice cream if you're going to be, spouting blood everywhere from your eyes. But that type of thing is usually contagious.
That kid definitely, he earned a nice tip for being, so honest.
That great customer service. I'm like, oh man, you look fucked up.
Yeah, so that was fun, and the ice cream was delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, got a picture with Krampus. It's really cool.
Nice. Now, did you run into John and Courtney when you were there?
Nope.
Okay, because it was like I'd gone on Facebook and I saw your post, or maybe you had Snapchatted me or something, and then I like scrolled like one or two swipes, and then I saw John and Courtney had like the same picture with those guys too.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, shit.
So I think you may have missed them by like probably just a few minutes.
It's possible. When we left, it was really starting to pick up, and I could feel that Jackie was probably starting to get a little like it's a very, very small area, and there's a lot of people kind of clustering. It's like, we're going to go.
Yeah.
Plus, we picked up two prints, one was a magnet of a dog that looks just like Amy.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
From a local artist, and then another painting of a lady pirate or whatever for Jackie's sister, because that's just her thing.
Sure.
So it was really cool, and it was definitely like a random, hey, let's go out to Fletcher's and get our picture taken and get some ice cream.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and the Krampi, that's how you say it.
Krampi.
The Krampi, Krampuses, they were very polite.
Nice.
I mean, they're in character, but we had fun.
Yeah. Do they try and like mess with you at all?
No.
Okay.
It was, very kind of in and out sort of thing. And I was like, where do you want me? He's like, down in front.
Okay, so they do a little.
I oblige, I mean, yeah, they're fun guys or gals. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
Doesn't matter.
And this one, I saw this message from, I don't know which person that is.
Oh, so that's Lisa.
From Lisa, asking me to discuss pros and cons of a product that she shared with me, which is a licking mat for dogs that have.
I saw that. I thought of you as well, but I just didn't share it.
Yeah. So I think, my quick take on this is I wouldn't do it. I would rather work on that behavior with the dog because it's clearly a compulsion that they're doing because of discomfort. Mm-hmm. And you want to help them kind of, snap out of that mindset and help them kind of come back to center and relax because, you're essentially by giving them this product, you're giving a kid a Snickers instead of teaching them how not to touch a hot stove. It's like, don't do that. Here you go.
I'm going to kind of disagree with you.
Okay.
With mainly just from thinking of how it works with humans, like, because it sounds like it's a mat that the dog can lick as sort of a soothing thing for when they're having anxiety or just kind of in general, maybe they get some kind of pleasure from it. But like kind of I think of the way you're talking about it, assuming this is anxiety related, like I can only imagine if I'm having like a panic attack and I'm having, a rough time, for you to be like, hey, no, it's fine. We're okay. I'm going to be like, fuck you. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's not how this works. That I think it's great if you are able to, divert and get them to another spot mentally. That is great. But I also question that that's something that can be done all the time. And I think there's a lot of value in having something like a coping mechanism that a person or a dog can use to just self-soothe and have something they can just be like, oh, well, I do this and I get through it.
But the flip side of that is, are they actually getting through it, or are you just giving them a thing to kind of fixate and focus on more? You're like, we're not really fixing your problem. We're just going to say, well, here's some medication and we don't really care about helping you. We're just going to kind of, let you be in this mindset of, anxiousness that, you can't work yourself out of, but here's the thing. And you just kind of keep doing that and that and that.
No, the thing about anxiety is it will pass. And it's sort of there's not necessarily fixing it. Mm-hmm. That it is usually like I take medication that works most of the time, luckily. But when I'm in the, in the heart of it, it is sort of just we just need to get through it. So I still kind of see a lot of benefit to that type of thing. Mm-hmm. I guess it all depends on, how in tune you are with your animal. Mm-hmm. And how much you're able to communicate with them, how bad their own anxiety may be, what it might be about. If they have separation anxiety, so you're not there, that's a great mechanism to help them, focus on something else rather than being stressed about their human being gone or something like that. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's pros and cons to all.
Yeah, no, there really are. And it depends, because I feel that I've heard that side of the story from humans. And then, what we do working with their behaviors to minimize these sort of, episodes of actually happening, mm-hmm. Working to get to the source of this, because I don't believe that human anxiety and animal anxiety is necessarily the same thing.
Yeah. There's no way to know.
Right. And, from what I've seen and what I've, studied, things like this are just kind of aids to help people think that they're, doing something because they feel like how you said, where it's like, I just want something to help me get through this, mm-hmm. and then it'll pass. I feel like this kind of just enables that behavior more, mm-hmm. and it doesn't really fix the issue. Mm-hmm. So that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Obviously there's many different ways of looking at it. So I'm sorry if that doesn't really answer anybody's question. I wouldn't use it personally, but
I would, Lisa.
Aaron would.
She doesn't watch it anyway, but she only listens to it.
But that's my thoughts. Those are my opinions.
Yeah. And I think the difference really lies in if dog and human anxiety are the same or different and how that works.
Yeah. And it's funny because Chewy, the dog that I'm fostering, as well as Maui, he actually has licked his paws, not to the point where they're raw, but there is no fur.
Oh, wow.
So I'm constantly like checking in on him and making sure that he is in a good mental place. And if he starts to, humans know like, okay, I can feel it coming on. Dogs are no different. They start to behave different. And in that moment, it is kind of getting them, hey, everything's fine. And it does genuinely. I've seen it work for them. If you can actually convey that, everything is going to be okay. There is no inherent danger. There's nothing to worry about. And, he'll start licking and then I'll, get him, hey, calm down. And he actually checks in with me. And then he can just like put his head down. He's like, thank you for like telling me it's going to be okay. So in that case, I've seen it work for him. Even though he has already lost a lot of fur on his paws.
Poor guy.
He's 8 years old. He's adoptable. Check him out.
It's pretty cute. Just wait. You're gonna probably because I don't do the video editing. Just have like a lazy day and just like I didn't add in the things.
I mean, it really gets me to watch the whole episode. So, shit. I think that's all I got.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be a short one this week, guys.
Are we going to be doing anything next week?
Next week, no, because I'm going to be heading home on Saturday. And then I'll probably be coming back the following Saturday, so we can probably do an episode before New Year's, but not one before Christmas.
All right. Well, expect Super Burly Bro. Damn it.
Super Burly Bros After Dark.
After Dark.
So just so you guys are aware of what this is, we're not going to post about it, but there will be an episode that goes up on the 23rd. And it is just we hit record when we're fucking around. And so there's no structure to it. It might be a little cruder than normal. And fuck it. Deal with it if you want to listen to it.
Yeah. And if not, fuck it.
Yeah.
Keep it spicy.
See ya.